I, female 27, do not live at home, do not take money from my parents, and don't really rely on them for anything. I have a job and just put a down payment on my first home. My parents think I'm a helpless damsel. I had to get the locks changed on my apartment because they had an emergency key that they'd use randomly. When I asked for it back, they refused. One of my friends recently went on a date with the creepy guy who put an Apple tracker in her car. She has an app that detects them, so she found the tracker and tossed it in the river. I got the app because I'm out there dating and I got concerned after hearing her story. I'm seeing someone right now and it seems to be going well. He seems a decent fellow. Yes, that's a Princess Bride quote. Anyway, I found a tracker on my car. I thought it was the guy. I didn't want to give him any clue that I saw it, so I tossed it onto a pallet of produce my company has headed to Edmonton, Canada. It turns out it wasn't him. I didn't see my parents this weekend but went golfing instead. The guy I was seeing called, but I said I was busy. He was cool with it. My parents, on the other hand, called me a dozen times. I said I was golfing. They asked where, and I told them. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and had fun with my friends. My dad called me from Boise, Idaho, to ask why I threw away their tracker. They found it before reaching the border. I laughed and said I would have to apologize to the guy I was seeing because I assumed he was doing something shady. My parents are upset that I scared them and called me ungrateful for making light of their concerns. So am I the idiot for sending my parents on a wild goose chase that almost got to the Canadian border? I might be the idiot for not appreciating that they care enough about me to stalk me. So obviously not the idiot. Good job all around. But in the real world, this is grounds for a restraining order. You need to cut contact and get a crap ton of boundaries set up because this isn't the way parents treat helpless damsels. This is controlling and insane, and it'll only escalate. What happens when they show up to your job to check in on you? What happens when they start tailing your future fiancé? What happens when they decide you aren't parenting your toddler right and try to pick her up from school? Came here to say the same. The way OP told the story's funny. The content, much less. The use of the key and the tracking is a reason for serious concern. OP is almost 30. This is the worst case of helicopter parents I've read in a while. Recently, the chief of staff for my mayor was arrested for stalking. What did he do? Put an Apple tag on a woman's car. He did, and was charged with some other things, but the Apple tag sealed the deal on the stalking charge. This level of helicopter parenting on an almost 30-year-old is nuts. Have a sit-down meal with your parents at a nice restaurant. People are less likely to make a scene if they're somewhere nice or in public. Tell them that the tracker was out of line and that it was stalker-level behavior. They need to be treating you like a capable adult. You don't need to list out accomplishments to them, as they already know what you have going on and have still chosen to behave this way, tracking your every move on their phones like creeps. That's not okay, and not how parents build a relationship with their child. They called me ungrateful. Why do they keep using that word? I don't think it means what they think it means. They should be grateful you allow them in your life after shenanigans like this. And with the level of intrusion they're attempting, this is insane, stalkerish behavior. Since they won't set reasonable boundaries, you need to. Good luck keeping them in line. My stepsister and I, both teen female, used to be close. We became stepsisters at 6. And even though I never called her just my sister, I always thought of her as one of my best friends and as a part of my family. The only source of conflict we've ever had was my dad's family. They never took my stepsister on as their family, and when I'd go visit them, she'd get upset about it. She always felt that wasn't fair. My dad died and his family stayed in my life and loved me and made sure I had more people to love me. But her mom left her, and so did her mom's family. I know it made her jealous, and I know we fought about it before. She'd beg me to let her come along, but I always felt a little uncomfortable with that, so I never asked. 2 months ago, my stepsister wanted us to go to this convention an hour from where we live. She never said anything and bought the tickets online without asking her dad or me. That same weekend, I had plans to visit my great-grandma for her birthday and was spending the night with her and my grandparents. When she did mention the convention, it was about 3 days before, and I refused to cancel seeing my family to go with her. She told me she really wanted us to go, and I could see my family anytime. I told her my great-grandma's older, and I might not get to see her anytime because she's in and out of the hospital a lot. That weekend, while I was gone, my stepsister found the DVD my dad had made me before he died, which was his last goodbye to me. It was my comfort item. I had it in my room on my desk because I wanted it to be safe. My stepsister broke the disc and tossed it in the trash in the mall before I got back. I went to watch it that night, and it was gone. I told my mom, and I was pretty hysterical. That's when she and my stepdad figured out what happened, and I realized after. I told my stepsister I hated her. I would never let her be my family again, and we would never be friends again. She started crying and apologizing, and I told her it didn't matter because she was dead to me. My mom took me for ice cream to try to calm me down and cheer me up, and my stepsister was grounded when I got back. Things have not blown over. I refuse to forgive her. I ignore her and make sure she's not allowed to touch me. I leave the room if she comes in. I ignored her at school too. She was getting more and more upset. My mom and stepdad asked me to work on forgiving her, and I said never. They now want us to go to therapy together, and I said no. I told them I wouldn't go willingly, and even if they made me, I wouldn't take part in therapy. I said they could waste money if they wanted to, but I was not going to let her fix this. I told them I wish she was never in my life, that I really hated her, that I hope she ended up miserable and never got over the guilt of what she did, because I'll never forget. My mom and stepdad got mad at me for refusing and said I needed to learn to forgive. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Therapy can't fix everything, and it can't fix anything that you're not ready and willing to work on. She destroyed your goodbye from your father, and you may never get past that. This is one of those things where forgiveness isn't even on the table. She broke the one thing you had left of your dad. She burned that bridge, not you. Unfortunately, the stepsister went for the nuclear option and is now upset that she's experiencing nuclear fallout. Some things in life you simply can't take back. Losing the last living memory of your father is one of them. That said, OP, do you still have the disc? Is there a possibility of a backup? As for the parents, tell them simply, if stepdad or mom cheated on you and then beat you, could therapy fix your relationship? I don't understand why she's jealous of OP and thinks it isn't fair that she lost her dad, but not her dad's family. I mean, life isn't fair. If it was, OP would have her dad, and her sister would have her mom in her life. Taking what her mother did out on OP and making OP just like her, well, she'll never hear her parents' voice ever again, is cruel and so misplaced. What did she imagine OP would do? Cry and then realize how wrong she was to honor a commitment that was important to her, rather than go with step to something she didn't know Sis had planned? There was literally only one way this would end, and now she's living with it. I, 32 female, have 2 stepchildren, a male teen and a young female teen, and 2 bio children, a male preschooler and a male toddler. I don't have a very good relationship with my stepkids right now, and they don't have a good relationship with their half-siblings. This makes having family time together a very rough experience. It's also impossible for us all to have a good time if I take all 4 kids anywhere alone. It's a mess. So when my sister asked me if I'd like to have a beach weekend when my husband's out of town for work next month, I said sure. Her husband owns a beach house, and she was planning to go with her kids and our mutual best friend and her kids. My mother-in-law did not like the plan because my stepkids would be there with their mom, and she felt something like this should wait until I had the kids, even though nobody would have fun doing this. My husband TJ supported me going and told his parents as much. I admit I'm conflicted. For those who need background, I met TJ 12 years ago. My stepkids were both toddlers. Their mother was also engaged to someone at the time. We got along fine. TJ and I got married after 2 years together. Not long after, things changed with the kid's mother. Her engagement broke down sometime before TJ and I married. A while after my marriage, she became very toxic and angry. She hated me most of all, and accuse me of trying to replace her with the kids and make her look like a bad mom. None of this is true. This started years of alienation, an unsettled parenting time split, and the courts sometimes taking custody from her, giving her every other weekend or 50-50. Currently, it's 50-50. The kids are in therapy. We've all been ordered into mediation, co-parenting classes, family therapy as a group of 5, and therapy between TJ and the mom. She's been arrested 3 times, which has influenced the court's ruling on custody at times. The kids believe her that I'm trying to replace her. They believe I tried to make her look bad. They hate me. When they interact with me, they tell me that I'm not their mom, and they won't do chores when only I'm home, or they won't go to the store with me. My husband ended up hiring someone to help when he worked. They behave way better with him, except where our bio kids together are concerned. They've been punished at times for their behavior. It's not ideal. It doesn't work. They're still in therapy. I don't need them to love me, but to not get angry and lash out for my presence would be ideal. To not be cruel to their half-siblings. It's so tough finding the right balance between supporting and loving them and being here without overstepping or inserting myself where they don't want me and making things worse. What's hardest is that my husband's family believes I'm better for the kids than their mom is. They encourage me to build up a mom relationship with them, and they judge me for not trying to give the kids that. So that's where we're at. Am I the idiot if I go with just my kids? Go to the beach with your 2 kids, enjoy it, and ignore any input from mother-in-law. Not the idiot. Your life doesn't stop when your stepkids are at their mother's house. You can be invited to places, have holidays, and have other experiences that don't include them. Your husband's the one who has shared custody, not you. If your husband isn't in town, his custodial time shouldn't be taken care of by you, who's not their parent, especially when the children feel so strongly against you. As such, while your husband's not home, you should be free to do whatever you want with your children without including his children, as they're not yours, and you do not have custody of them. This is a good point. Perhaps when the husband isn't around, the stepkids need to automatically go back to their moms. That way, they're with a parent all the time. Enjoy your weekend. If they can't treat you nicely, they don't get to have a nice time either. Your bio kids don't deserve to be treated cruelly either. It's a complicated situation. My husband is one of 4 children. The oldest child, Alice, is a stay-at-home mom to 5 children. The second son is a child-free gay man. The third child is his antinatalist sister. And my husband and I are child-free. Basically, one sibling has a lot of children, and the other 3 siblings don't have any children, and mostly dislike children. My husband and his childless siblings are very close, and they're partners. We all hang out regularly, and we all like to host. They will not let Alice's children come to their homes at all. My husband's antinatalist sister just hates kids, and the kids have broken a bunch of stuff in his brother's house. I don't want the kids over at our house because if they come over, the other 2 siblings will make up an excuse to leave. And hanging out with Alice and her 5 kids without anyone I like being over just sounds really unappealing. Alice called me up and said she's upset and feels excluded because we all hang out without her and post it on social media. She said she's feeling depressed and isolated and only ever interacts with her children. It's hard for me to be sympathetic because she chose this life for herself. Her family never pressured her into marrying young. They tried to talk her out of it. Father-in-law even offered to pay for her college if she went. I've said she's welcome to come over to the next thing I host if she leaves her kids at home with her husband. She said her husband can't watch them alone, and she shouldn't have to leave them behind anyway. She said family should want to spend time with family. I told her she's the one who chose her lifestyle, and if she has a problem, she should take it up with her actual siblings, not her sister-in-law, and I'm done talking to her. I blocked her number because she kept texting me. Am I the idiot? Family gatherings? Maybe consider renaming. You are the idiot. Your family sounds like a bunch of insufferable bores. I feel so bad for the kids in this situation, to be so openly hated by their aunts and uncles, merely for existing. I'm childless, but I'm still good with my family members' kids and such. I would never dream of excluding them. You guys are awful. I say that as someone who's child-free as well. The whole "you chose this lifestyle" is just despicable behavior on your part and her siblings' part. Pretty sure she knew what she was getting into kid-wise, but I'm pretty sure she didn't expect her siblings and husband to just leave her to drown. Every single one of you is TA, except sister-in-law and the kids. Her roommate needs to step up, and you guys need to not be such idiots. I think everyone's the idiot here. She said her husband can't watch them alone. What? And why not? Why can he not do what so many other fathers do regularly? Being child-free and not wanting to be around misbehaving children is not wrong. Being a legit antinatalist is disgusting. I can't help but wonder what kind of zoo-piece husband must have grown up in. 3 out of 4 of them have an aversion to children, and one has kids on an annual basis. Something is really off. I'm wondering if Alice had to be the caretaker for her siblings, and that's why they don't think of her as a peer. A group of 12 of us are going on a vacation together this summer. Everyone was supposed to give me money so I could rent a huge house where we were going. When I tried to collect, a few people paid immediately, but some said that they would get me later or ignored me. The house we were originally going to rent got scooped up by someone else because I didn't put a deposit down. I found another house with similar amenities, but it would only sleep like 8. I booked it, since that was the money I had. In the next weeks, the other 4 people said that they were ready to pay. I told them that the house we had looked at was gone, but we had rented a smaller house, and we could get some inflatable mattresses or something for them. They said that if they were paying full price, they wanted a room. I said, okay, we were all paying full price, so we all deserve a room. However, there were only so many rooms to go around. 2 canceled and 2 got a room together at a hotel about 30 minutes from the house. All of them were upset that I changed the plans without consulting with them. The other 7 are happy with the arrangements. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You'd have been crazy to front the deposit with your own money. All those 4 would have had to do would be canceled or just not pay, and you'd have been out some significant cash. If they don't pay, they don't get the bargain lodgings. They always have the option, as 2 of them took, to arrange their own lodgings. You didn't change the plans. You got rooms for those who paid you. Getting rooms for those who didn't pay you would set a really bad precedent. Were you clear with your friends that you would only book the accommodation once they paid their share? Did you communicate with them when the first choice was no longer available? Everyone's the idiot. You just unilaterally made a decision without communicating. Sending a "rental gone, need to rebook" text takes less than 30 seconds. Thank you. This is exactly how a normal person would behave. There also must have been a difference in price between the 12-person place and the 8-person place, and it doesn't seem like they addressed that beforehand. I wonder if the 8 people who paid ended up paying more or less than what was originally requested. My friend, read it again. She's not a travel agent. She's not a teacher calling people's mommies and daddies and sending reminders when assignments are missing. They're grown adults. If you want to be part of the vacation, participate in the planning, respond to incoming messages, and pay your share. Keep up or be left behind. Money was requested, but that request was ignored. The poor communication was on the part of those who refused to pay when requested, not OP.